All right, guys, we are back and we are going to start working on Illustrator today. So in many ways, Illustrator is very similar to Photoshop, but we're going to be able to do a lot of drawing on Illustrator. So let me just start with sharing my screen. So we're going to first go to Illustrator. If you have Mac, go to your applications, find the Illustrator. If you don't have it yet, you have to download it from Creative Cloud. So click on this, and now we have this. It's very similar. You just say new file. You can select a regular paper size A4 or letter size. You can also go here and select something. So we're just going to go with this size for now. And we have a new page. The tools are very similar to Photoshop, except we have a lot more tools for drawing. And we have, we don't have much showing here, but I'm going to show you how you can change things. So you can go to Workspace. Right now I have Essentials selected, so I would say Essentials Classic. That way you get that top bar to show you properties of each of the tools here. So I'm going to show you some of the basic tools. We don't have any layers showing, so I'm just going to go ahead and select layers. So now you have your layers showing. I can also move this here. If you want to see, there are other things that you can select here as you go, but let's just play with this first. I'm going to first go to our rectangle tool. You can also just do this so that you can see everything this way. However you want to arrange it, whatever makes you feel more comfortable working on this. So there's rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon, star, and all that. So we're going to start with the rectangle. So now our colors are showing here. White is going to be the fill, and this is going to be the stroke. And you can also see these here. So if I have rectangle selected, you can just do this, and you can see that this is white. So let's just select green. Now our fill is green. For the stroke, we can select, let's see, let's make it a bright color so everybody can see. We can make it red. We can increase the thickness of the stroke. That way you can see your colors. Now, Illustrator is vector based, so everything is just vectors here, pixels, and it's just a drawing. There are a lot of things you can do with the drawings. So this is the selection tool, and it's exactly like the move tool. We can just take it and move it. This is the direct selection tool. So the direct selection is going to be also similar to the move tool. I can also go here and create a new layer, just like we did with Photoshop. You can go here, select an ellipse tool, create an ellipse tool. And if you wanted to move things, you can move that separately. You can move that separately. So let's just do something on the same layer as the ellipse. I'm going to go ahead and create a little star. Okay, and I'll make it touch that. So when we go to move tool, even though they're on the same layer, we can actually move them both separately. So everything you draw is vector based. That's what it means. These are separate objects. You can separate them. Remember, in Photoshop, if you drew something like this on the same layer, then you could only move both of those together, but now you have that flexibility here. Let's just reduce the thickness of the stroke. All right, so I have this. One cool thing you can do also is those anchor points. Okay, so with the pen tool, you can draw like we used to do. It's the same thing. You can also select no fill, and then it will be just drawing. So if I draw now with the pen tool, I can draw and there will be no fill. Now you see those anchor points. You can, if you see that pen with the negative sign, so there's add anchor point and delete anchor point. So if I say add anchor point, it will add an anchor point. If you want to go and select the negative one, then it will just delete an anchor point. Okay. If you go to direct selection tool and you find an anchor, you can also move this. So the direct selection tool is not the same as a move tool, although, you know, if you're just doing this, it works like the move tool. But if you get to an anchor point, you can also move that anchor point. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a new page. One thing you can do that's cool with Illustrator that you can't do with Photoshop is if you go to Artboard tool, this is exactly the same as the canvas size. So it highlights the size and you can increase your canvas size by just simply doing this. So we could go ahead and create a new layer if you like, and let's create a shape. I'm going to do this one. You can go to add anchor point. I'm going to add an anchor point here. So I'm going to come to direct selection and come to this anchor point, and I can do this. Okay. Now, if I wanted to pull it on here, it won't pull it from this point because there's no anchor point there. But if I go here and add another anchor point and use this, now I can move this. Okay. You can also get rid of an anchor point. So if I click on here, it gets rid of that anchor point. What else can we do with this? We can also use the anchor point tool. And this one just curves your anchor point. We do have the type tool, so you can just type it here. And of course, you know, you have all the same controls for the text. And you have the brush tool, which you can brush. Now this one, you can brush freehand, but there's also this line tool where you can just create lines. Okay. You can also go and open up a new page and you can arrange them. So if you want to show both side by side, you can do that. Or if you want to just show one page at a time, you can do that. All right, so I want you guys to practice drawing some kind of stick figure. All right, we're done.